So this is probably the last time that you're going to see any garden tour from this angle, because we are going to be moving these beds today over to the front yard. You can see there's tons of stuff planted in here, but it just isn't doing very well. This one looks okay, you know, not too bad, but the tomatoes finally getting some leaves, but not too many. Everything I planted in here basically not doing that great, except for that one squash plant in the back right there. And then over here in this bed, everything has just been stagnant pretty much since day one. So I feel like I put in a lot of effort and I'm wasting time with these beds back here because they only get about 6 hours of sun, and some of that is even dappled sun. So we're going to be closing up shop back here in the backyard, and we're going to be moving all of these to the front yard. It's going to be a lot of work to shovel all of this dirt. You can see I did not fill the beds this year, so they're kind of down already. That's a good thing. That'll save us a little bit of digging and hassle and time. I'm going to attempt to save most of these plants, but if I have a casualty or two, I'm not super concerned because I do still have full time to be able to replant everything and get it out there. So it's going to be a big project, but I'm really excited about the food that this will be able to generate for our family, and hopefully a lot sooner in the season. Hopefully it will extend my season a lot and I'll be able to plant in the fall and a little bit earlier in the spring, because they will actually have enough light. Before the days get long, these areas don't even have 6 hours of light, and so it's even more of a struggle to try and get things to grow back here. So it was great for my first year, and it's been great for the partial second year here, although I haven't harvested anything except for a couple of sugar snap peas. So I feel like everybody else is already harvesting tons of things, and I've kind of narrowed it down to sun because I did a good job with prepping for soil. I think I got compost and good soil, and so I'm just leaning more towards it's got to be the sun that's really not helping these things grow. So what you're looking at over here is the blank slate of where our new raised beds are going to go. Actually, the beds themselves are not new. We're just going to be moving the beds from the other area, and this is where they're going to be. I'm not 100% sure what kind of layout we're going to do, but we're going to be getting started with this project today, so that is super exciting. So this is what the layers of the raised bed look like now that we've taken the sides off. And the soil actually looks pretty good. Still nice and dark. You can see some roots growing through there. I don't know if those are old roots or new roots. The leaves are at the bottom. We did put a bunch of branches down on the bottom, but you can't really see them. And in this one you can really see the random soil kind of from on the bottom, and then the nicer, richer soil near the top. And that's because I put more compost and stuff on the top. So it's kind of neat to see these at this angle with the sides removed. But that's the first step. Next step will be placing them in the right spot, and then I'll dig out some of these plants and we'll go from there. Alright, so in the bottom here, I've just laid out some newspaper, and then we just put a little bit of sticks down to fill some of the space. Our beds are almost all the way full anyway, so it's, you know, we don't need to fill a bunch of extra space, but we will anyway. Okay, so over here, I'm just going to dig these up as much as possible. I don't have any dirt dry. Yes, leave them in the bucket. Get the smaller bucket. So here you can see how we laid out the garden beds. You can see that they really started to come up nicely. There's a lot of weeds in here, so just ignore that. That's just some stuff that I pulled out. I'll be doing a different video for a garden tour, but I just wanted to see the layout here. So we've got this pine bark down in the center. The reason why this is still tarped over is we have that one last bed that we need to add right here before we can finish it off. Also have these bricks that I picked up for free off of the Facebook Marketplace, so I'm going to be edging these, and that'll just help when we go to cut the grass. You won't have to come out with a weed whacker because these will be buried down into the soil, so the lawnmower can just go smoothly across. So that will help. I'll show you from this side a little bit. You can see we have this trellis that we added right here, and that's where our peas are growing right now. Not exactly sure what I'm going to be planting in which season, but I have identified a couple of things. So for example, this is my strawberry bed. You can see I've got a lot of strawberries in there, and then this is the garlic, and on the other side is going to be the herbs. So we had this bed divided up to be able to grow both in one space. So we'll see how well that goes. And then these two are smaller than the normal size beds that we normally make, just because we didn't need as much space for strawberries and herbs. But anyway, so that's the layout, and this is in my front yard, which does not bother me, but it might bother some people. So we've got, it'll be 4 of these beds. These are 6 feet by 3 feet, and these are just used with the cedar boards. And then we have these 2 that are 3 feet by 2 feet right here. So I don't know the math on that offhand, but that'll be the total growing space that we have. Aside from over on the side of the house where I've got blackberry bushes, I've got 2 blueberry bushes in that garden bed right there. So that'll be our growing space.